Hello students, welcome to the first session of the chapter Electric Charge and Field. Myself Bharti HS, Faculty, Department of Physics, ASC Independent PU College, Bangalore. Now let us look into the contents of the chapter. Introduction to electric charge, Coulomb's law in electrostatics, electric field, electric dipole moment, electric flux, Gauss law and its applications, and at last we will be discussing numericals of the topic. Now the contents of the topic, Introduction to electric charge. In this topic only we will be discussing subtopics, conductors and insulators, charged objects, definition of electric charge, then in detail properties of charges and the methods of charging a body, that is electrification and its methods. At last an experiment, gold leaf electroscope. Now let us look into the introduction to the electric charge. In 600 BC, a Greek philosopher by name Thales of Miletus noticed an important point, that is, if a piece of amber is rubbed with a woolen cloth or silk, it acquired the properties of attracting light objects like feathers, dust, etc. And later in 600 AD, William Gilbert made a systematic study on such substances like amber and introduced the name electrica. In Greek, actually electron means amber, which is the origin of all these words like electricity, electric force, electric charge, etc. Later, a physicist by name Benjamin Franklin named these charges as positive and negative charges. Now, if at all you want to understand about charges, you must recall conductors and insulators. As you already know from your previous classes, conductors are the substances which allow electricity or electric charges to pass through them easily, are called conductors. Examples are metals, because in metals, as you already know, there are free electrons available in the outermost orbit, and substance which do not allow electric charges to pass through them easily comes under insulators. Best example, non-metals like wood, plastic, paper, etc. Because as you know, in insulators electrons are tightly bound to the orbits and not so free. They require a lot of energy to come out of it. Now you can actually understand what do you mean by charged objects or charged bodies. As I've told you, what do you mean by conductors? That is, they allow electric charges to flow through them easily. Also, one more thing you must know about conductors. These are the substances which have equal number of electrons and protons, and hence they are also called as uncharged bodies, because very soon you will be knowing what do you mean by charged bodies. If they don't have equal in numbers, that is electrons and protons, then you can call them as charged. But now the conductors which have equal number of electrons and protons are also called as uncharged bodies, or simply you can call them as conductors. Now here is the charged objects or bodies, how we actually consider them. Objects become charged because there is an imbalance of protons and electrons. I told you, if you find deficiency of electrons or excess of electrons in any body, then you can say that objects as charged objects. See here, there are two types, positively charged objects and negatively charged objects. Positively charged objects, in the sense you will find on the body more number of protons than electrons. These bodies lose electrons and thus called as negatively charged objects. Here you will find more number of electrons than protons. Sorry, here mentioned wrong. You must understand, and in negatively charged objects there are more number of electrons than protons. These bodies gain electrons and thus called as negatively charged objects. See, if at all you want to know the kind of charges gained by few bodies and the kind of charges lost by few bodies. They are all put under one series called as triboelectric series. Here in this slide I have showed you that triboelectric series. If in the table, if you go upwards, these are the objects which have tendency to lose electrons, and in the table if you come down, these are the objects which have a tendency to gain electrons. So if at all you are interested to know which body has tendency to lose electrons and to gain electrons, you can have a look into this triboelectric series. Now let us come to the very important topic of the concept electric charge, that is the definition of electric charge itself. What do you mean by electric charge? See, here is the definition. It is the intrinsic property of any body are the protons, electrons and some elementary particles present inside this body, which gives rise to electrical force or electrostatic force between them. It is called as electric charge. See, here I have mentioned one word called as electrostatic force. Static means rest. So this chapter is also called as electrostatic charge and field, because in this chapter we are discussing only about the charges which are at rest. There are some points you have to remember about electric charge. Here I have showed. First one, electric charge is a scalar quantity. We talk only about its magnitude. Next, it is under the SI unit, Coulomb, a physicist name. You have to use Coulomb, complete word if at all using small letters or capital C, as the rule says from your first chapter, units and first physics, PUC physics chapter, units and dimensions. Next, a proton, as you already know, it is a positive charge, carries the value 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 Coulomb, and electron takes the value or carries the value minus 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 Coulomb. And this one you all know, like charges repel each other and unlike charges attract each other. Now to understand further about electric charges, you must understand its properties. There are three important properties. First one, charges are conserved in nature. Second one, charges are additive in nature. Charges are quantized in nature. Let us go one by one in detail. First one, charges are conserved. This means the total charge of an isolated system is always conserved. That is, charges can neither be created nor be destroyed, but can only be transferred from one body to another. It is very much similar to the conservation of energy. There also you might have learnt, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but can only be transferred between two bodies. In a similar way, here the charges are also conserved in the same manner. Second one, charges are additive in nature. That is, as charges are scalars, as we have already learnt, any number of charges can be added algebraically to get the total charge on the system. Suppose on the system, if you have plus 3, minus 2, plus 5, minus 10, you can just add them algebraically and get the total charge. The third one, most important, charges are quantized in nature. That is, electric charge is always an integral multiple of an electric charge. According to the formula, Q equals to plus or minus Ne. Here N is any integer, it takes the positive and negative value, and E is the magnitude of charge on an electron. Now that means charges can always occur as plus or minus 1e, plus or minus 2e, plus or minus 3e, etc. It cannot come like in the decimal form. This is all about charges are quantized in nature. Now let us look into the concept of how do we charge an uncharged body. This comes under electrification and its methods. The process of charging an uncharged body is called as electrification. There are three methods of electrification or charging an uncharged body: charging by friction, charging by conduction and charging by induction. Here in this slide I have mentioned two, that is friction and conduction. Friction is nothing but process of charging an uncharged body by rubbing these bodies against each other. Example, insulators, because as an insulators electrons are tightly bound and they are not free. So by rubbing we are giving energy and they are released out of their orbits where they are tightly bound and transfer can take place. See, transfer of charges always means it is about transfer of electrons. As you know, electrons can only move because they are in the outermost orbits, not the protons which are present inside the nucleus. So keep it in mind, if at all we are talking about movement of charges, it is only about electrons movement. Next is charging by conduction. It is the process of charging an uncharged body by bringing a charged body in contact with an uncharged body. Here, the nature of charge acquired by the uncharged body after conduction process is completed is actually the same type as that of charging body. That means if you have actually brought in contact positively charged body with a conductor, after conduction the conductor gains the positive charge only. Similarly, if you bring negatively charged body, the conductor after conduction process it will gain negative charge on it. Example, metals. In metals there are free electrons which are transferred between bodies by bringing them in contact. No need of rubbing. We have to provide just a path, that is why we have to bring in contact. Now let us further understand an important method of charging, that is charging by induction. This is itself a 3-mark question. I have considered two spherical conductors in contact and how to charge them by the method of induction. And the definition is like this: it is the process of charging an uncharged body by bringing a charged body very close to the uncharged body but not in contact. This you have to carefully observe, as in case of conduction we are not bringing in contact but we are bringing just close to the uncharged body. This you don't forget to mention, that is, but not in contact. Here one interesting matter is the nature of charge acquired by uncharged body is exactly opposite to the charged body. Now you will come to know very soon when I explain using these diagrams. See, this is a 3-mark question, as I told you. Explain charging two spherical conductors in contact by the method of induction. See, in the first diagram you can see there are two spheres, metallic spheres A and B, mounted on an insulated stand to avoid the flow of excess charges after the process is completed. And in the next diagram you can find a charging body, that is a negatively charged body, is brought very close to the body A but not in contact. You can find the gap here. And now the entire bodies A and B behave as a single body, and all the positive charges are attracted towards this negatively charged body, and all negative charges are pushed to the other side of body B. And in the next diagram you can find we have separated body A and B by a small distance in the presence of this charging body, and not much difference you can find between this figure and the previous second diagram. But in the fourth diagram really make out, now there is no charging body, we have removed, that is in the absence of charging body. Two bodies A and B are separated by large distance, and now these two bodies are acting like individual bodies or systems. Now A is being charged with positive charges and B is being charged with negative charge. And one important thing here you have to remember, as I have told you here, here we have brought actually negatively charged body, but see the body A is being charged with positive. That is what I meant to say. Nature of charge acquired by the uncharged body is opposite to the charged body. This is about 3 methods of charging, that is friction, conduction and induction. Now let us move on to the last topic of the concept, electric charge, that is gold leaf electroscope. It is an experiment basically, or device you can say, used to detect the presence of charges and about the polarity or nature of the charges present on the charged body. Now the diagram, you have to learn this diagram, and in the diagram you can see there is a glass box, and in the lid there is a rubber cork with hole where metal rod is inserted, and here there is a metal knob at the end, top end, and here inside the box there are gold leaves, metal plates in the shape of leaves. And now what exactly happens is, if you bring a charged body in contact with the metal knob here, now you can see the leaves will diverge. That is what the experiment is about. That is, when a charged object touches the metal object at the top of the rod, charges flow into the leaves and they diverge. The degree of divergence is the indication of amount of charge. And if at all you want to know what type of charged body we have brought in contact, you can also perform the experiment to know about it. But it is all, but this much is enough about gold leaf electroscope for about 2 to 3 mark. Now this is all the topics about the concept electric charge. Before I end the session, I will leave you guys with a few important questions you have to learn before we start with the second session. That is, I have asked for 1 mark, like what is electric charge, its unit, value of basic charge on an electron, electrification, properties of electric charges for 3 mark, mention the methods of electrification, 3 mark. You have to write what is friction, conduction, induction, examples, carries 2 marks each, charging by induction, and then gold leaf electroscope you have to explain as I have showed you in the slide, that is for 3 mark. And at last, one important 1 mark question, what is the nature of charge acquired by uncharged body during conduction and induction. This is all about the concept electric charge. In the next session, I will start with the electrostatic force. Thank you, one and all.